Hello and welcome to the third part of All About Nodes in LightWave. Today's nodes that we're looking at are the nodes that you can use to mix and blend materials and textures together, which is the multiplier, the scaler, the add, and also the material mixer. The result of all these mixtures of different textures and blending them together with a grayscale value mask, you can see that this could be one of the results. All right, so now we are in the state that we had at the end of the second part, and now we start to mixing together some texture maps to create a more realistic looking material. To mixing up together two textures and blend them together to create more realistic materials, we have different nodes that we can use. And those nodes that you need to combine texture maps together, you will find it here in the math category. When you open up this, you can see that we have three undercategories: scalar, trigonometry, and vector. The node that we need to combine these two data or grayscale values maps together, you will find it into scalar, multiply, and you can see that this node comes in with green input dots and a green output dot. And what I do is I just plug in the Luma from both worlds into the multiplier. So to demonstrate how this multiplier node works, I plug in this one into the color so you can see it better. Let's start the VPR. There you go. And you can see that we have these fingerprints and we have this black areas here. So this fingerprint map is very high contrasty. So we have a strong separation between white and black. So that means that this map here, it's reacting like a mask. But where we have the white information, we can see that this map here shines through. Okay, so you can see that this fingerprints reacts like a mask. But what I want is I want to have this component of this map visible in here as well. So what we can do is we need some two extra nodes to drive the power, how those two images get mixed together. So what we need is in the scalar category, we need the add node, and then under the constant, we need a constant scalar node, and we have this scalar node. So what we have to do is we have to plug in the multiplier into the A and the scalar into the B input, and then we plug this into the color. And now you can clearly see that these two maps are mixed together. You can see the fingerprints and you can see the metallic component of this map as well. With the scalar node, which is a constant node, I can double click and I can define how strong this map should be shine through. Okay, so when I bring this back to 0, you can see that we have the same result as just with the multiplier map. So I can choose a value between 0.4 to 0.6. So you can see that we have mixed up these two maps nicely together. So what we have to do now is we have to plug in the color map into the color. And this one we use as a roughness map. Then we have the specular map. Then we have this scratches map that I use for bump. And then I have the normal map right there. And you can see this is just all straightforward, just vector outputs to vector inputs. And you can plug those in straight right there. And now you can see that this vase comes to life, right? We have some nice color map, we have the scratches, we have the fingerprints that shine through, very subtle, and we also have the anisotropy metal effect on it as well. So what I want to have now is I want to have these scratches, and underneath these scratches I want to have another material, so that it looks like where the scratches are underneath this patina here is a blue metal material. So now what we have to do is we have to blend or mixing together two materials, not texture maps. We have to blend and combine two materials. So how we do that? So first of all, we need a metal material again. So we could use another principled BSDF node, or we can use these material components. And in here, we can use the GGX BRDF. Double click on that. And when we plug this into our surface, we can see that basically we have this metal material. So if you want to use these GGX BRDF materials, don't change the color of the metal here. To drive the color of this metal type, we need a Fresnel. Okay, and the Fresnel, you will find it here, Fresnel functions, and then we have the Fresnel conductor. Double click on that. It brings up this, plug it into the Fresnel input, and then you change the color here. So I want to have a kind of a bluish metal color there. And you can see that now we have this blue metal. So this is the correct way how you coloring the metal by using the GGX BRDF preset. And you can see that it looks realistic. So to combine this material with this material, we need a material mixer. And this you can find in the material tools. And here you can see we have the material mixer. You also can type in here in the search bar, of course, you can type in mix and it find the material mixer as well. So double click on that and you can see that we can plug in material A and material B. Plug in the material A and the material B into this mixer and we plug this into the surface. And you can see that the A material component is dominant now, but what we want to use is we want to use a scratch map to drive as a mask the A and the B material with the mask. So we use this Luma mask and drive the alpha input, and what you can see now is that we have this color map here for the first material, but only where the scratches are, this metal material shines through. All right, so when you're looking at this node tree and when everything is plugged in correctly, you can have materials that looks like this. It has character, it is used, it's not perfect. And this is what I like to do when I use a pre-built asset. Then I always change the materials and blend things together to give it more character, to give it more usage and a lot more imperfections. And this makes your rendering and your assets and your visualizations unique again. All right, this is the end of the third part of All About Nodes series. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you. It was a bit more complex. If you have any question or you find something that you did not understand correctly, please let me know in the comments and we can dive deeper into those areas that are not understandable correctly and I show you a better way. So as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and see you next time. And bye, everybody.